Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. We are again on the way to revive one of the most iconic classes in Grimtools, and this is the one and only Skater Templar. Very common pick back in the days if you need a fresh start, a good campaign farmer. This guy excels in everything like that. Quick recap of the skills and the gear. Gear, nothing much change. I use Ascendant Authority, basically buff my Celestial Presence, Heaven, and a little bit more speed to my Guardians. After 1.2 patch, pets scales properly with total speed and speed. We have not a bad Skybreaker Circlet, essential for the build, reduce cooldown to Fire Smite. Another Ascension piece, Ether Fire Archive of Celerity, not the best, but it's gonna do the job. Another crucial item, since I have to reduce even further Fire Smite. Others, pretty much random drops. I use one to Old Keeper Amulet. And we roll some pretty good roll, aggressive of Guild and Arcanum. This is energy, casting speed, offensive ability, all in all. I use 2 living rings, not the best roll, some resistances, but mainly here for the Iskandra's buff. We use for sure endurance, probably best for leveling this build. There is nothing better honestly. This comes with fire damage, life armor, 1 to Old Keeper and a flame burst proc. Best in slot from 1 to 100 probably. We hunt Serenity, but this didn't drop yet. Gargoyle Girdle, Mighty of the Eagle, mainly for the stats. I have to upgrade this, is a pretty low base. Aggressive Harvool, protection, defensive ability, offensive ability, tectonic shift, and all the rest are random piece. This is mainly for the bleeding resistance. This is here for all resistance and basically health. Pretty good gloves if you ask me, especially in a hardcore for a caster. Comes with prismatic shield if you have problems with your resistances. I don't have any at the moment. Bleeding, I neglect this a little bit, but there is no bleeding damage in the game that can one-shot you. You always have enough time for reaction. I'm gonna pop up my potion and my Malmut oil, because I'm gonna find a lot of ethereals in this area. This extra racial damage is gonna help me a lot. But without much further ado, let's start the journey. Damage is still high enough. Starts to fall off a little bit, of course. But I don't believe that's gonna be a big problem. We just need to unlock Coven and we can start farm our endgame gear. This guy is usually pretty tough. Feel free to let them live. I don't need anything from them as well. There is a better ways to get experience in this zone. This is guaranteed spawn. It's a hero, but good chunk of reputation and experience. Also a loot orb. You can gain something value at this point. I am 85. So I start to drop endgame gear frequently. This is a very important rift. We want to get closer. To the hidden path quest. And honestly, I'm gonna do a quick recap. I have some weird conversion, physical to lighting, I believe. So better to get rid of the points in a main skill. I don't think this is a huge damage increase. I can use them for now somewhere else and reshift the tree later. What we can do. This is max out, this is max out. I can soft cap this, and let's get more DA shred. Let's test this out. Better life pool, better DA shred. Later on, when you get your hands on Vanquisher set, maybe maxing out the main skill worth it. But right now I convert all the physical damage to lighting, so I don't scale this type of damage. So I'm not sure if there is a value. We're gonna check this. This is another 3 attribute points. I didn't touch this quest in basically in normal and elite. I can push forward for a better leg plates of Vala. Gonna need one more level or two. But that's gonna be a huge upgrade. Probably I'm gonna max out my bleeding resistance finally. I'm gonna delay the sentinel for now. Usually I'm pretty sure I can do it with these resistances and stuff. But it's better to have a little bit more optimal gear. Which I plan to refresh all the MIs at some point after 90. As I said, my main goal is to unlock all the dungeons. After I unlock all the dungeons, gonna be much easier for me to farm for a Vanquisher set. This is gonna be a main priority end game on a fresh 100. These guys, Guardian, they desecrated the Mogdrogan Shrine. Hellforge plates. Volcanic Stride. Actually, this is an upgrade. But requires Stones of Physique. I'm not sure if I'm willing to trade all the damage for these pants. But we can take a look closer on them. I want just to get rid of the totem. I'm gonna nullify the swift guy because he boosts all the rest with speed and I don't want to take so much mythical judgment of Empyrean. This was an offhand, unfortunately. If this was a weapon, it's gonna be a beautiful upgrade. We got another level. More DA shred, why not? I feel tanky enough, so getting some damage is gonna be a better option for us. Reputation with the Coven. Terrible roll on the effigy. Not gonna even pick it up. There is a boss, a very tanky one of course. Feel free to use tincture on him, just to speed up the process. We run single resistance shred mastery class, so having these Coven tinctures helps a lot in the boss encounters. I know it's a little bit piano with them, but my advice always keep some around to speed up your gameplay. They are very situational. I use them only on the toughest fights. I don't use them occasionally, so having them somewhere in the bar always nice. Usually I use my mouse wheel for this stuff that I don't use very often. Lighting damage, boost to ascension, but this is a dagger, so requires a lot of cunning. Here we have to do something dangerous. I'm gonna leave a portal for that case. We have to deal with Bartolom, which is very dangerous in Elite. His damage ramp up according to what weapon he carry with himself. That's why I prefer fighting Malkadar instead of this guy. But on this playthrough I can't pick Kaiman because I need a Skybreaker circlet, and this is possible only if Kaiman's your enemy. Anyways, as a real follower of Empyrean, we're doing very well. We murder the whole screen. These guys with the mirror are quite annoying. Feel free to nullify them. Seal of the Void.
Good. Precise.
We can pick a couple of quests. Not big deal. And it's time for the real challenge. Also, Kaiman's Chosen usually very lighting and fire resistant. That's why it takes a little bit longer to deal with them. Especially the heroes and the champions. Trash mobs, they die relatively quick. But as you can see, it takes time for the champions to get all the damage. Also, I found Kaiman much scarier. I'm gonna remove this guy, Defender Aura. This boosts everyone's defense all around, so always when you have nullification, deal with this. All these grenades and stuff this guy throw at you can make so much trouble. Also, it's good to use my secondary movement just to proc some Phoenix. That's gonna help me with the sustain. That's the main problem with the Templar. I plan to use some certain devotions, but probably I have to swap to a different setup. I don't have enough heals to proc everything. But still, you can use a secondary medal slot for the Phoenix. Works like a charm, because Phoenix has a longer cooldown. So you can cheese the proc with Northern Ram, for example, which it's one of my favorite movements abilities during leveling, during farming as well. For boss fights, I prefer Rune of Displacement. There is a certain mechanic that I prefer to jump over instead of pass through. But for Shattered Realm, Crucible, that kind of stuff, Northern Ram and Amatok Step is probably by far best for me. This gives you more crowd control, because the freeze and the knockback. Also, these two runes are on very short cooldown, like Amatox is 2.5 and Northern Ram is just 3 seconds. And here is the harder moment. We don't have DA, damage reduction, so I'm gonna nullify him to take less damage from his elemental attacks. But keep in mind his damage ramp up, don't stay on the pulse. You can see I take 3k damage by standing still. And he possesses some scary weapon. There is a small treasure room behind him. Usually I never found something useful here, but I do appreciate the extra money. So what about his weapon? This time is a Searing of Scourging. This is Guardians of Empyrean one. I plan to do a run around this gavel. I think it's gonna be a pretty fun build. I don't care about the devotion shrine, I'm already capped, so I can immediately teleport. It's a good chunk of experience, so I'm gonna finish their questline. Let's revive our pal Malkadar. This is a typical example of person that died and they bring him back to work. That's performing the ritual. This is a very good chunk of experience. Also a lot of undead skills. And we are happy to kill Noveria Stormfire for a second time. I'm gonna cheese my Phoenix proc. We got it. Another level up. Okay, we have a reflective mob. Immediately nullify this guy. Also stay away from the thunder. Especially when you have couple of knights and Noveria. This stuff persists even if she is dead. So be careful, especially in a hardcore mode. You don't want to get one tap We're gonna take Uruburu quest. We plan to go to Black Marsh anyways. But for now our main goal is to finish the campaign, unlock Coven. So, and hopefully we're gonna be close to 94. So we can start actually our endgame farming. Of course we have a lot of side areas to pick. We don't do any quests, like I have one side quest at Devil's Crossing. I have the full Pine Barrens quest line, which is another good level and a half maybe. Especially with the experience potion. Another hero, another nullification. Spell Scorch Plating is gonna be useful. Main problem here with the puns. Ancient Plate gives me tons of physique, so you have to do this. But keep in mind, if I remove this by mistake, I can't put it on. This is the trade-off using Ancient Plate. But all resistances maxed, I don't have to worry about anymore for the bleeding. It's not very common damage type, but most of the mobs that deal bleeding damage deal a lot of bleeding damage. Also at this point it's good to be all resistance capped. You don't want surprises. Legion supplies. Very good clear on the prison. I just missed these guys. I can go back. Open the door. But they are very far away, so I'm gonna leave them. There is a couple of heroes. I didn't pay attention. This is tons of debuffs, I'm gonna remove them. Lucian. Not very big hitbox, so it's gonna be easy for us to stack all the useful stuff. All the dot damage. Avoid the thunder at any cost. Costs, sorry. Because cost is a different thing. Playing Strife, this is one of the zones that possess a real challenge, and a lot of things can get wrong here. There is a minefield, as always says. Try to manually not walk around the mines. You don't want to get hit by 5, 6 in a row. Even with capped resistances, this is a lot of damage. Just pay attention. Also, there is a certain area here that is good to be avoided, because Locksmith can very easily one-shot you, even on the best prepared build. This guy just hurts, but I have ether clusters, so I can basically face tank his nullification. Of course, I have to wait for the nullification before I pop cluster. If you pop cluster earlier, he's gonna dispel it. Let's see if he's at home. He's here. This guy over here, this locksmith. Just wait for him to teleport, nullifies you. He probably missed the nullification. He used Blaze Trap as well. That was a fast kill. I think he missed the nullification. He cast it a little bit behind me. But this is the fast arcane mechanic in the game. Nobody else can cast this directly on top of you. All the arcane mobs, even Grava 2, they cast the projectiles. We're gonna need this for Mokdrogan. I'm gonna backtrack this. Actually, I'm gonna leave it. I don't want to interrupt my potion. This is a lot of damage. We get chain reacted by the explosions. That's why I hate standing still with this build. Even with all the absorbs and stuff, it's not the most tanky build on the planet. So it's good to consider that. Especially in Ultimate, when you have a lot of density and a lot of big hitters in the packs. We get Heart of Oozin, which is a fire base, either amulet or medal, I don't remember very well. Just I have to found it. Yep, this amulet. Honestly, it's not bad at all. It's a demolitionist oriented. I prefer the east part of the map here, because few crystals, and I don't want to fight much Chthonics since I'm already revered with a Malmut and a Black Legion as well. There is a good pack here. Gonna nullify this guy. Heavenly Judgment. Yeah, this is a 200 unfortunately. There is a guaranteed shrine. Good thing about desecrated shrine, they are technically totems. And this one don't spawn some crazy stuff usually. Just these tiny guys. This guy is very fire resistant. As you can see, damage that he takes is not huge numbers. This is one of the downsides when you run single resistant shred mastery. Plus, sorry. What we can do now. Gonna take more damage. I feel tanky enough. Seven physical resistance, this is huge. Ring of Flame. That's gonna hard cap my volcanic strike as well. I'm really considered to respect my attributes for that. And it's 84 base. Really good upgrade. Harbingers, be careful. Spectral Miasma debuff is very nasty. You're gonna take tons of damage from this. At ultimate they can shred up to 32 resistances on almost every single row. You don't want this. This is dangerous and very unhealthy for you. We're gonna lose a little bit of homestead reputation. I can live with this. Dealing with the witch now is a very tricky moment. Because usually I kill her. But most of her quests right now are connected to this class. So I'm gonna be friend with her. And I'm gonna reset the faction. She's gonna give us some easy quests. She's gonna basically want some rare materials. But I'm gonna go to the Black Marsh soon. And also I'm gonna go to Steps of Torment so I can finish very easily her questline. Of course, Captain Reef is not very happy. But after a couple of Catonic kills, which I am on the way to do, is gonna bring my reputation back to Revered without any problems. Gonna sell what I don't need, which is basically everything that I found. Apart from these pants, I still think I can use them. Also, Ozin is a good Judgment of Empyrean, I'm gonna keep that. And it's time to finish the main campaign. Good experience. Good reputation. And we are again revered with the Black Legion. Easy peasy. If you connect everything correctly, you can deal with the penalty very easily. More damage. A very dangerous spawn. Prepare your panic buttons if things get tight. Seal of the night. Most of this stuff useless. But it's good to click every single totem from now on. And game gear is gonna start to drop. I am already 89. Let's check if we did every single card. Yeah, door is unsealed. Time for us to strike. And close the vanilla game. As you can see, Outcast is level pretty fast. I don't need anything from this faction, but I do appreciate the extra quest. They are very easy ones, nothing scary at all. Another dangerous spawn. I'm gonna pop up all the defensive I have. Too much big guys. Let's see here. Here is manageable. Not so scary stuff. Apart from the oppressor. Another good wire smite set, but this is for trauma wire smite. This is Stonefather's Bulwark. Very underrated set. You can build a very tanky character around it. We got the miasma debuff. You can see my resistances was dropped to the dangerous level. This is the most resistant shred that you can get from the campaign. Also in Shattered Realm. These guys look harmless, but they are not. Also, when they die, they explode and deal vitality decay. So if you get shredded, and this vitality decay can put you in a very low numbers. Always consider this guy, never underestimate them. Remember their model, they're one of the most dangerous mobs that you can face during the campaign. Debuff looks like their head. And stays on top of you for a 5 seconds, easy. So it's very easy to you walking around fully debuffed without notice and get one tap. Because even with slightly overcapped elemental resistance, which is not very good at the moment, 12% is not so much. Especially when I'm an elemental caster, technically. And this guy drops me at the 60s. This time my runic bracers saves me to get below. But last time when they apply the debuff, I go below 80, I get around 61, which is a very dangerous threshold in Ultimate. I don't rush so much here because I have to respect all the hard hitters and all the harbingers all around. Talon is not particularly hard, he applies resistance shred as well. Just his is from Curse of Frailty and it's not that dangerous. But he summon harbingers as well, which can apply, as you can see. I take a lot of damage thanks to the Spectral Miasma debuff. Lochoran, easy fight, just stack your on top of him. It's gonna take a while in Ultimate. He's just tanky, not so dangerous. Take care of the odds regularly, you don't want to take so much damage. And soon enough he's gonna die. Apply your tincture if you want. We don't have good armor absorption, that's why we take a lot of damage from a single hits. I have to fix that sooner or later. And that's it, pretty much he's dead. Guardian of Dead Gates. We're gonna finish as a level 90, which is a good threshold. I have one more experience potion, so I can do all the side quests that I have in the next episode. Next episode can be a warm-up before the end game farming. I'm curious to see what rings I got.
Excuse me, my father and I were part of.
Soft cap Heart of Rat. This is gonna give me all the dot that I need. And we can start work on a little bit more sustain at the Arcanistry. We can consider respec as well. I'm gonna keep Stronghold Belt. I don't want to sacrifice. This is for to Conversion Hammer. Shows us a more damage. Skill cooldown reduction as well. Looks like an upgrade, maybe it's not. I'm gonna keep it. Avatar of the Order. This is actually, I think, better. It's again one to Old Keeper. Total speed, life, I think gives more value than what I have at the moment. Some mods to mirrors, which is not very useful. Technically the same resistances. Yeah, this is definitely a good swap. Ideally, we want, of course, and I have to check what dust I have for the rings. Yeah, is this one not ideal? We are level 90, which means we can jump to normal and check Mammoth resistance stuff. This is a low level pants already, we can get rid of them. We can put some stuff in the share, and not share stash, but our personal one. There is a nice stuff. Some relics. Stronghold belt. All these materials. Oops, not all of this. We're gonna start to approach harder content, so of course this is in my personal stash, so even if I die I'm gonna lose it, but feel free to use your shared stash for this. I use my personal one because I transfer items later in the game. To my main save folder. And all the rest I can sell. Okay, this was a good upgrade, at least for now, until I get hands on Vanquisher set. Avatar of the Order is definitely a retaliation stuff. But it's upgrade over Bolvars, because gives again one to Old Keeper but better resistances, total speed and better life and offensive ability. Overall, in the next episode I have to definitely upgrade the belt or craft a better one. And definitely I have to get rid of the shoulders already. They are way behind. I can check for another MI faction option, which is basically the same shoulders. I do like them, it's a judgment, but I have to farm a lot of reputation. For Devil's Crossing, have to kill tons of stuff at Cronley's hideout or outside of it. Definitely I can upgrade the medal as well, which is kinda pointless at this point. I need a very special blueprint one, which I can shop at Ancient Grove. It's gonna take a while probably, but the medal definitely worth it. It's gonna max out my Volcanic Stride and gonna put my Tectonic Shift in a reasonable level. But this is from today's episode. Thank you everyone for watching. See you in the next one.